Ben is taking out a window from above our back door. This is back door in the kitchen. And he made some discoveries. Wait, first of all, why did we take it out to start with? Was it because it was warped, or?
There is a gap between the top of this and the stone frame it fits in.
Okay.
Hence, which is going to go inside.
Got it.
So this will fit on top and take up that space. So we could put beading along the top.
Got it.
Alongside that, with the door slamming over the years, the window panes had cracked. Well, this one got replaced, and whoever did it cut it too short down the side and too short along the top, and didn't even bother to put a curve in. So they just filled it with
window putty.
Kind of putty.
So it wasn't even wide enough.
No, it wasn't wide enough, wasn't tall enough.
Okay.
And the beading that runs along the bottom, you can see what this does. It had started to separate. And so instead of taking it off and flattening it out and putting it all nice and flush like this,
clamping it back down.
They just filled it
with more putty.
An inch and a half of putty.
So in the gap here, there was a bunch of putty.
And they just filled it. It's all this stuff.
Okay.
So yeah, rebuild.
And Ben has become an expert at cutting glass, particularly curved glass.
I wouldn't say an expert. An X is a has-been, and a spurt is a drip under pressure.
All right, so I was just taking a little walk to the courtyard as I was measuring some things in one of the outbuildings. Here, let's take a look where this goes. So this goes above this door here. You can see that it goes above the door there. So the door kind of closes in over against it. So that's what he's taking out. And I'm going to point out, because yesterday Ben was out working out here and he installed this lamp above the door on the outside. So, which I'm very happy about because it's kind of dark out here at night, and now we have a little light, which will be nice. All right, just some of the things going on in the chateau. I'm also going to check in on something that was unfortunate. Got Mark's ire going. But I have Sylvain and Stephen are working in bedroom 3. And bedroom 3, well, there's a problem. Hello. Il y a juste 4 poutres.
Oui, il faut les couper. On va les couper en 2. Il faut les couper en 2.
Okay.
Et oui, parce qu'elles sont trop épaisses. Il faut les couper.
So 4 pour chaque côté.
Ouais, environ. Oui,
ça, c'est assez?
Oh oui, 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 oui. Et en plus, après, entre chaque poutre,
okay.
Des renforts.
Okay. I was just saying, I was just in one of the outbuildings because this room has curved walls in the corner. There, if you look at the ceiling here, you can see where the molding is, the natural curve that was there in this wall, which we're recreating. But apparently, they've been working on this wall on my left, right here, and a lot of vibration going on, and the molding is not really well attached to the wall. This plaster molding at the top, the crown molding, is made in place with a form, and it's really just the plaster stuck to the ceiling and the wall that holds it in place. But because we had taken out the curved portion of the wall, and it's been out for a while now, it's been slowly detaching and apparently came down. You see where that gap is, so that's gonna have to be remade. And remade in the same way that it was done originally, which is you fill the corner between the ceiling and the wall after the wall is built. Obviously, you fill it with plaster, and then you make a form that has the shape of the molding, and you slide it across your plaster. And you do this in a couple stages. Use a heavier plaster just to fill, and then a finished plaster that you can smooth out. And that's how you form the molding in place. And that's the way this will have to be done. It was a little bit unfortunate. Sylvain is going to actually put some holes in this plaster here, that's still here, and just put some screws in to fix it to the ceiling, so that as I continue working in the room, hopefully that will help stabilize it and keep this side from falling down as well. So we're trying to preserve as much as the original as possible. Okay, merci. Well, I popped into the garage and I see that Ben has built this butcher block. This is out of oak, and it was literally an oak beam that we had. And he's made this top. It's all kind of glued together, and it's going to be used to fill in the hole on this butcher block, which is quite old. And then this butcher block is going in the butler's pantry, and we're using it as a base to put a sink on it. So that'll be kind of nice. When we bought it, there are blue tiles in this section. I don't know what happened. I don't know if there was a problem with the butcher block and they had to cut some of it out, or what happened along the way. But at some point, someone had taken the butcher block, a section of it out, and filled it in with tiles. So you can see where it was here. See, this is all the block, and it's cut. But Ben also discovered that this had been turned upside down at one point, that originally this surface underneath was the surface, and as it wore down, they flipped the whole thing over. Yeah, if you really look underneath, you can see here where it's really worn away, like here underneath. You can see it like wore, it was used so much that it wore over. So I just flipped it over and then use the other side. It's like a mattress. Are we filling?
Yeah, it's expanding. So now I've taken the braces off. The clamps.
Yes.
It's wanting to return back to its natural state.
But we have these.
We can't adjust those, unfortunately. They're on these really old things. They are just welded type.
That's interesting. So they spread out?
Yeah, so this is that's solid.
Yeah.
And there's a screw here, but I have tried to ream these out and adjust them, and I just...
Yeah, no. I mean the top is spreading out.
Yeah, but it's only going to go, well, as
far as it can go.
As far as this now.
It's interesting, isn't it? There's the new top with the new old oak on the left, and this is the original butcher block on the right. Do we know what this is?
No, I mean I don't. But it doesn't feel like the same as this.
No.
It feels, maybe it's beach. Beachy.
I'll leave you to it.
Yeah. Trying out.
Hello.
Hello. Qu'est-ce que tu fais aujourd'hui?
J'ai refait le plein arrivant.
Ah oui.
Avec pour remettre droit
Oui.
du mât.
Oui.
Et là, je vais continuer à réparer.
Oui.
Préparer les meubles.
Parfait.
Hier, j'ai fait toute la pièce à la girafe,
Oui.
comme Marc m'a demandé.
Ok.
Et voilà.
Et voilà.
Je continue.
Okay. Bon. So This morning, Stephen put in the baseboards on either side of this doorway. You can see where the blue tape is. They had been removed and are put back, obviously. And he put them back so they're nice and straight and plumb. And he's basically working on the rough repairs of the entrance hall. There's been a lot of work going on in here. Et ça, c'est du plâtre ou juste la peinture?
Non, il y a une couche de plâtre quand même, oui. Avec la peinture aussi, forcément.
Okay, so it's just the finished layer of plaster. The old plaster is not in great shape, and the paint as well. I don't know when this paint was last done. I know there was a remodel in the house in the late 50s. It's possible that there was some touch-up work that was repainted since then, but it's been a very, very long time. And in this room in particular, we've had a lot of peeling paint. If we look at this arch here, Stephen's actually gone in and used the enduit, which is like a very thin finish plaster, to redo that inside of that arch. But that was all peeling paint. So this room has a lot of peeling paint. So he has to scrape everything off till he gets to something solid, and then he can patch it. If it's deep or a lot, he uses map, which is like a hard filling plaster. And then after that, enduit, which is like a very soft finish surface. It makes a fine surface. And then eventually, of course, this room will get painted. So there's just been a lot of repair work that has to happen in here because of the electrical installation. And I am not talking about these wires that are just hanging here. These are, I hope you realize, absolutely temporary. To get electric to these pillars where there's going to be wall sconces, you can see the conduit sticking out of the wall for the moment. They had to channel out above the arches. There were light fixtures on those pillars originally, and there was a conduit that ran over the top of the arches, and that conduit was attached with small nails into the plasterwork. So you can see as we were removing it, unfortunately the plasterwork was very fragile, and we lost chunks of it on these arches. So after this is all done, and before we paint, we will have to figure out repairing these, the plasterwork. This will be done by making a form in the profile of arches of the plasterwork, and basically applying new plaster and then just running the form over it to kind of fill in the gaps. So that's the work going on here in the entrance hall. It is basically, Hugh was just saying this looks like a headboard, but it's the backsplash for the butcher block.
Oh. It used to be a table.
It used to be a table. And Ben has recreated it into a backsplash board. It looks great on the back too. And this is going on this butcher block, which is upside down. So we're looking at the underside of it. So this will get flipped over, and this will be the backsplash going in the butler's pantry. And Ben has dedicated the last 10 years to working on this project.
So,
do you have the sample board here? Is it here? All right. So these are the sample colors of stain and varnish, and we're going for the arrow. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be this color when it's done. That's with the varnish. And this is the same without the varnish?
Yep. So line of varnish across it. That's what it looks like.
It's really funny how much the varnish. Darker, yeah. It's not just darker. It's redder. It goes from a slightly orangey color to.
The varnish has its own tint.
And Mark sent Ben a picture of an old butcher block counter like this with its backsplash, and so Ben took inspiration from that to create these sort of little end pieces, which really came out Very lovely. And this came from an old table that wasn't in best of shape. Where was this table?
In the shade, it's something that is inherited when you bought the property. And it's been sitting there for God knows how long. It was just a tabletop with no legs. 2 of the planks completely destroyed. So I just salvaged the central area and these supports. Moved one down because one of these was completely broken, so I salvaged that. And that's what we've got now.
That's kind of amazing. Like we just had it sitting here and...
Yep. And there's all sorts of bits lying around that we can be making use of. I'm sure there's a couple of large banqueting tables down the bottom of that wine shade. At least that's what they look like to me.
In the sous-sol?
Yeah, on the left-hand side where the wagon is.
Oh. Yeah, there's a lot
There's a lot of stuff in there.
in there.
Yeah, maybe they're not banquet tables, but it looks like what they could be required.
Maybe they'll become banquet tables. It's funny. He's walking away from me. That's our work. That's usually what happens. I just start talking and they walk away from me. That's how it goes.
Allô?
L'approver Steven.
Ouais, c'est pénible.
Parce que tu as pensé, c'est juste peut-être 4 ou 5 jours ici dans le hall entrée et maintenant c'est le reste de sa vie. So the poor, so poor Steven, we started prepping this room, filling in all the holes in the wall and where electrical was put in. And he started putting a very thin finish coat of enduit, and which is like it's just a very thin finish plaster. And the paint then started peeling off, the existing paint, which was well fixed to the wall, started peeling off. And we discovered that the layer under the paint was absorbing the moisture from the enduit, and it was causing it to peel off. So now he has to spray it down with water. Tu spray avec de l'eau? Le mieux?
Maintenant, c'est plus la peine.
C'est plus le...
C'est plus nécessaire.
Ah,
Parce que le spray, c'était seulement pour la peinture.
ok.
Là, maintenant, c'est l'enduit qui saute. Donc, spatule.
Oui, mais ce n'est pas l'eau qui fait plus doux?
Non.
Non, ok, ça c'est juste...
Ouais.
Ok. Mais avec de l'eau, l'enduit...
Plus facile à enlever.
Enlever, oui, non?
Ouais, mais Sylvain m'a dit c'est pas nécessaire, ça va mouiller les murs,
Ah,
pour l'humidité. Tout.
Oui.
Et ça s'enlève sans mouiller.
okay. So it started with spraying the walls with water to remove the paint, and then he's just scraping the old enduit off. That's like the old finished plaster. So this job became ever so much bigger, just un peu petit plus grande qu'on en pensait.
Ouais.
So it's just a little bit bigger than we really thought it was going to be. So what started off was going to be a fair amount of work. It became even more work. But unfortunately, it must be done. Okay. Et il y a un autre problème ici, l'électricité.
Oui, aussi, ouais.
So as Stephen started doing this, we had the electrician here, and he noted that this plug actually has no wire going to it. So it has, you can see there's wire, it's a little confusing. There's a plug on the other side of the wall in the dining room, and this wire runs between the 2 plugs, but there's no feed to this plug. So the electrician will have to chisel out the wall now behind this woodwork, come over to here, and then we have to go all the way up this wall to get above the ceiling where that can be hooked up. It was a little bit of a surprise. We didn't realize that that hadn't been done. And it's just something that kind of got lost in the process, unfortunately. And also unfortunate because, you know, Stephen obviously started filling in holes and doing a lot of work in here. And that should have been done before all that happened. But here we are. So, and of course, it's August. So, il n'y a pas d'électricien.
Sylvain.
Oui. So the electricians are on holiday for all of the rest of August.
Mais il y a pas
So we'll see. It may be that Sylvain will do this. We're not sure. So Stephen unfortunately has to remove the paint from the ceiling as well, which will take spraying. That will take spraying of water.
J'avais fait un test là.
Oui, and you can see here he did a little test.
Et dès que j'ai mouillé,
Oui.
en fait, ça s'enlevait tout seul.
Mais l'enduit c'est bien dans le plafond.
C'est bien.
Ce n'est pas le même enduit. C'est un peu différent.
Même ce côté
Oui.
est différent.
Huh.
Donc là, maybe, je vais pas enlever tout. Peut-être.
Baby quoi?
Je vais pas enlever tout.
Ah.
Pas comme là, en fait.
Oui, oui, oui.
Je sais pas, il faut voir parce que c'est pas le même.
That's also bizarre.
C'est bizarre. Ouais.
So the in the frames on the wall, like on the right side, the enduit or that finished plaster is different and it's fine. It's a different material. You can see here on the left, Stephen has already removed all the finished plaster because that plaster was coming off the wall. And he believes that the plaster on the ceiling, le même pour le poutre, c'est le même que le
En fait,
plafond.
si j'enlève là l'enduit aux poutres,
Oui,
on va être sur l'ancienne poutre en bois.
oui.
Et compliqué après.
Okay.
Je vais pas toucher à ça.
Oui, oui.
Vaut mieux pas.
So he thinks that the enduit on the ceiling, the finished plaster on the ceiling, is like in the panel, so that it's fine and it won't be coming off.
Juste enlever la peinture.
Wait,
Ça,
so
c'est sûr.
so he's going to remove all the paint, but not the plaster bits, the finished plaster underneath. And the same for the beam, because if he removes the plaster from the beam, it's a lot more complicated to reapply that. I mean, it can be done, it just becomes more complicated, plus compliqué pour la poutre. This is the butcher block that goes on top of the table, and so it's got its final coat. So you can see this section is a little bit different than this section, and that's because this section had the blue tiles on it, and when we took them off, there was no butcher block underneath. So Ben actually cut cross sections of oak to repair this, and we knew this wasn't going to be an exact match. I mean, it's it's obviously not the exact same wood that the original is made in, but I kind of like that it's a little it's had many lives, and it's a little wonky in its way. We still have like the worn down part, from years of chopping. And what Ben discovered is actually this was originally the underside of the block, and the original surface had worn down so much from use that then they flipped the whole thing over and worked on this side for a long time. So it's kind of it's an interesting story. Like it's obviously had a long life of chopping going on here. Is this one done? Is this the final?
That is the second cut on the back side. The final cut will go on the front once that side is done.
It's dry. It might need a little more. I mean, it's not tacky, but it does feel a little. This is the backsplash. This is the back side of the backsplash. So for the chopping block table, which will be in the butler's pantry. All right, the hand will not stay. That's just a temporary measure as poor Ben hangs over the whole deposit up. But this is the general idea of what we're doing here. It's looking really good. What do you think? Do you like it against the stairs like that?
Yeah, the backsplash makes a big difference.
Yeah. And it probably could move down to the left just a hair.
Yeah.
But it's looking good.
And I probably should have got the faucet in copper.
Well, maybe. Probably. Oh well. I'm going to stop recording before you decide that that's a good idea. Here. Yes.
I have an idea.
Okay.
I think you should ask your YouTube followers whether this counts as gardening or not. I'm not entirely sure it does.
I just got a message from my YouTube followers and
Yeah.
they said, yes, this is plant matter, so therefore it's gardening.
Right, okay.
Just to clarify.
Okay, that's fine.
All right.
Fair enough.
Poor Hugh. You're also the tallest person in the house, which gives you a slight advantage in these tasks.
Fair enough, yeah, it does.
Don't fall off the ladder. You know the insurance policy starts with a shovel.